All right, today we are going to build the Ultra Fuego home gym so that E and myself can do some muscle building. So as you can see, it comes with quite a few boxes here, and I don't think you guys want to watch the very unpleasant process of unpacking all this, but I'm gonna go ahead and unpack it and then maybe just show you what the result is. Okay, got it out of the boxes, and as you can see, the parts are really robust. It is not chintzy metal that they used to put this together. It's actually pretty nice stuff. So it's a lot of stuff though, and I got a feeling putting it together is going to be quite the party. Here's the weights, some of the pads. These are the pulleys here. The couple of parts bags there, the backrests, pulley cable, and then the hardware. Now this makes me a little nervous, and I guess we'll see as we go, right? But it says parts bag 4.1, 4.2, and it says the steps 1 through 6, 7 through 10, which is nice, right? But then it jumps to 4.4 here, which is step 14 through 16. So it skipped a couple of steps there. And then the next one is the same one. They sent 2 of these, which makes me nervous. And I looked at the steps and didn't see, off the top of my head, any bolts that I couldn't find. But when we get to steps 11, 12, and 13, we will soon find out if we are missing a hardware bag. Now, I know some of the hardware for those steps comes in those bags, but they're not labeled for steps or anything like that. So, anyway, I guess I could just sit here and stare at this and go, oh, or we can get started. Okay, yeah, so the first step is using this base piece right here and these 2 long poles. The sides on this are the same. There are holes on each side that fit these bolts here. Okay, so it doesn't matter which side you put in there, but that's going to be our first step, is to install these guys. So I'm going to do it like this here because I'm a little worried about trying to set it up straight and sticking this in there and it not falling and breaking something. I just get in there and find these bolts or the holes in there. It's just pretty simple, and tighten them in there a bit. They give you Allen wrenches for this, but I prefer using my ratchets. It's easier for me. Okay. I'd be careful as always about using your super strength. Well, these are very robust bolts. If you strip the threads in here, that's that. That's a big no-no, so you don't want to do that. So there we go. Step 1 completed. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with step 2. All right, this clip, I'm jumping ahead real quick here to make sure that I tell you about mistakes that I made so you don't make mistakes. As you go along here, you're going to see that this part right here is actually curved in. I had to switch it later. This part goes out. You can see it goes out. Make sure you don't make the same mistake I did. Also, I made the mistake of forgetting to put this bracket on right here, the bracket on the outside. So just make sure that you put this bracket here. And that's all I was trying to remember when I was saying don't tighten it down too much. If I said that yet, well, these brackets solve that problem. They're very robust brackets that are designed to let you put some torque on it and make sure that this is tight. So, I mean, I wouldn't get too crazy, but anyway, I just wanted to let you know, don't forget to put this bracket on and make sure this is bent out, so don't make that mistake. All right, you know, some people might not have this stuff organized in these parts things, so let me do that. On the first step, we use 2 of number 96s, which, as you can see, are M10 times 25 millimeter Allen bolts, okay? And then we use these, it's number 105, which were 10 millimeter washers. That's what we use for step 1. Step 2, we're gonna need these guys, okay? Number 91, which is M10 by 70 millimeter carriage bolts. And we're going to need a 103. So we're going to need to get a couple of these for the next step. And a 105, which is that. So that's it. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, so we're going to be using the washers. We're going to be using 2 of these, 2 of these, and 2 of these for the next step. So let's get to it. Okay, for this step, I'm going to be using the 17 millimeter wrench. And it looks like we're just going to be sticking this guy in here. See how it's a little squared off part there. As she comes through here, it's simple as that, really. Okay, and we'll put our washers over here. Honestly, I might want to grab the ratchet for this, because this is going to take forever. I'm going to get the ratchet. Okay, 17 millimeter ratchet. And I got that squared off, so how they engineered that to be squared off in there so that you don't have to sit there and hold this and tighten at the same time. All right, for the next part, we're going to again use 2 of the number 91s, which are the M10 70 millimeter carriage bolts. we're going to use 2 of these 10mm washers, number 105, and again 2 more of the nuts, the aircraft nuts, the M10s. Okay. Oh, and we're going to need this bracket. I think it's number 21, it says. So this bracket. So what we're going to be installing for this step is this big old piece here that's in the middle. This ought to be interesting. So this guy here, oops, this guy here goes on this, like that. You can see it lines up nicely. So far, this thing is very well engineered. And as you can see, a smart person would lay this on its side. Meanwhile, so we got this thing tilted, which means we can now work on it a little bit easier. And the first item chore here is to get it lined up with the holes, which I did. I don't even need to look. You can't have this sticking out on the bottom. It's just not gonna work. It'll hit the ground. So we put that in there. We'll try. There, I got it. And put this guy in here. I can't find the hole. It's lined up. Look at that. It wants to come through. Okay. Okay, so there. We're going to put our screws on here like so. And then get our nuts going here. Okay, on this side I can use the ratchet. Okay, again, when you use your super strength, see how it starts to bend in there? As soon as it starts denting there, maybe a little sooner, ease up. I mean, don't do it no more, because I don't think it's supposed to be tighter than that. Okay. Ah! I suck! Okay, so don't be like me. They put that there for a reason. Okay. All right, so you guys don't want to watch me undo this and put this on, right? I'll be back in a minute. Okay. Let's just pretend I didn't forget to put this bracket on. So, obviously, they're not big fans of us denting this too. So this bracket's going to give it some strength, obviously. And that's a smart engineering move on their part. I still wouldn't say crank it down until you try to break it, because I mean, we got humans and tools, and look, it's even denting the bracket there. So I'd say that one's pretty good, and that one's pretty good. And obviously, we want this in there good. We don't want this thing messing around and stuff. They give you some little cheesy little wrench. Actually, they tell you to use your own adjustable wrench. So they do want you to probably crank it down pretty good, but I wouldn't break it. Stripping stuff, and I mean, we'll mess it right up. So let's go ahead and put this guy back upright again. Carefully. There we go. All right. Starting to see this frame come together now. All right. Let's go ahead and get ready for the next step, right? For this step, and we'll see if we've, made a mistake later on. You probably want to position the gem where you want it, because we're going to be adding the weights to it now, and it's going to be much harder to move around. So it looks like, it's going to go mostly that way, and we'll see when I'm done building it whether I made a mistake in the positioning or whether there's enough room. But I do believe I have enough room here, but we'll see. What is it? Just time, right? So the first thing is these bumpers. For this step, we're going to need these little rubber bumpers here. And we're going to need the pin for the weights, and whatever this thing is that the pin goes into, which is going to be in the middle of the weights, and of course the weights. So the first thing we're going to do is put these rubber bumpers, because we don't want the weights smashing the bottom there. And I'm guessing that the big end here is going to go on the bottom, because it looks like there's a kind of a wider end and it tapers slightly. I doubt the instructions show the tapering goes up, just like I assumed. So, kind of sucks there, though. Let's see how it just sits there like that, but I guess that's how it's designed. It sits on top of that. As I go along here, I'm noticing things that I did wrong. So, I can leave this on there, I guess. Doesn't matter. So I'm crying about how, it dents this stuff in. And of course, these engineers are smarter than me. They made a really robust bracket that's supposed to go here and protect from that. So we have to take this off again and put this bracket on. So I have to say I have not been doing a great job of following these instructions. Anyway, I am going to add this bracket here, and then we'll be back and keep working on this assembly. So I fixed that and made a little note that you probably already saw. So let's put these rubber bumpers on. That's when I figured it out. I put the rubber bumper on and I was like, wow, that's weird, because the rubber bumper hit one bracket but not the other. I'm like, that's unusual, right? But well, problem solved. Now I see both brackets are there. Anyway, so we're gonna make sure these the little holes are on the side facing this way when you install these. I'm just gonna do one at a time here so as to avoid causing myself any kind of suffering or death. Just put each one on. Just like that. Making sure all of them have that hole lined up, and these parts here sticking up so that it stacks properly. the next thing is putting the selector rod in here. I mean, so you don't lose it, I guess. I mean, that's much more solid like that. You can't. So I'll just leave it like that for now, but I might just take this little thing off. But we'll do that later. So it won't go in easy like that. You gotta do it this way. And then like that. Okay, later in the instructions I saw a picture where this was up here, which makes more sense than having it over here, because now this is flush and this kind of edge here keeps it from sliding off. And again, I'm guessing this just keeps you from losing your key here. So that's how I'm going to do it for now. And we'll see. All right, for this next step, we're going to need two of these carriage bolts. Again, M10 70 millimeter, number 91. Okay, we're going to need two of these littler guys. They're number 96 M10 25 millimeter Allen bolts. Okay. I need 4 of these washers that are 10 millimeter washers, and 2 of these bolt aircraft nuts, M10. Okay, and then this that we will not forget to put on this time, the bracket. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're gonna do this upper bracket now. With those bolts I just mentioned, right? Okay, on that, these are going to go in the front here. So, again, we're going to put this in here like that. Looks like, so the bolts are going to line up and go in here. Oops. Okay. Again, easier with the helper. Stay. Okay, so these are going to be the shorter Allen ones. And they're pretty easy to put on. Do that first. So far, this thing is really nicely engineered. It's super easy putting stuff in. I should really be cranking that down just yet. Alright, so in this here guy, we're going to want to line these holes up here. So there it goes. And then the bracket is going to go on the top. We aren't going to make that mistake again. The question is, where do we want our bolts now? The nut's going to be on the bottom? I'm guessing, yeah. Here is going to go on the top, which gives it support. Again, the engineers for this gym are no joke. They made it to be very durable. I mean, not chintzy at all. It's just real nice. Okay. And then, okay. Why did they get 4? 2, I didn't put a washer in here. I have a washer washer in there. Good thing I didn't crank it down. First time I didn't make an annoying mistake. Just a dumb mistake. Uh-oh. I hand tightened that a little too much. Ah. Okay. Alright, fix that problem. Okay. Let's hope that these holes don't come back and bite me at some point. I don't know what they're for. So would have been easier with the nuts on the top. I didn't get my ratchet in there. I'm going to tighten these down. I'll be back in a minute here, guys. Well, for you. Alright, I got the bracket up there. It's got some good strength to it. Again, I'm not going to use my super strength. That's on there pretty darn good. But I don't want to break it. Alright, let's crank this guy down. Here. That's in there nice and tight without breaking it. Alright. It's coming. Yeah. Alright. Next step. For the next step, we're going to use the rest of these carriage bolts. Okay, the M10 70mm ones. We're using the rest of these, and it's 5. We're going to use 5 of these 10mm washers. We're going to use 5 of these aircraft nuts, M10 aircraft nuts. And then we're going to use 2 of these brackets. Okay? So this next step is putting the seat on. We gotta be careful about here is doing it the correct way, because you know you could put this all sorts of wrong ways. So first thing to know is the short end of this middle part here. You see how there's no room and there's a long piece? The long piece goes down. Okay. Now you got to figure out which way it goes, right? Because these are different angles. And so this nub here is going to be facing, so if you're looking at the weights, it's going to be to your left, like that. See? It's going to go like that. If you don't do it that way, it won't work. So you got to make sure you do it that way. All right, so it's better to do this with a helper, but if you don't have a helper, you know, just gotta fiddle with this first one. Get this top one in there. Yes, you can. Yeah, I did that pretty quick and easy. Brace, you know, the support, whatever, bracket, strengthening bracket. I'm gonna put that on. A washer and a nut just to kind of get this one in here so it's easier there. All right, and we get the bottom piece. Same deal here. Just keep squirming it until it gets in there, and then washer and a nut, and then tighten them, but I wouldn't crank it down because we still got to put this back end on. Having a little bit of play while you get it all together is always a good plan. Okay, just leave a little bit of play. All right, so we got this bottom brace in, and now we're gonna put this guy on here. So again, we gotta do it the right way. These things here kind of go out away from it, and this part here is gonna wrap around the bottom. Let me double check. Yeah, we got everything right there. So this is gonna go, see how it fits perfect. If it doesn't fit perfect, then you did it wrong. Okay? And you don't want to do it wrong. Because if you do it wrong, well, it won't work. Anyway, again, see, that's why you leave it loose. You see how it's not like kind of lining up? If you don't do it loose, leave it a little bit of loose, you're going to have problems getting it in maybe. We'll put our bracket on again. Washer and a nut. And there we go. Do the bottom part here. Washer and a nut. Okay. Okay. Again, I wouldn't crank it down because we got one more fastener for this down here in the bottom. I want to make sure it's relatively easy to get the nut in there, or the bolt. Okay, and then the last one here is in fact going to be this bottom piece here. I don't know if they have a preference on which way you do the bolt. I like to do it the way they have it, so face it. So it is, they have the bolt here on this side. I don't know if it matters, but screwing with it's never a good plan. And do what they say, unless it's like a real screwy. Alright. And if you tighten everything down, you will be really having problems with this. As you can see, I don't even have mine tightened. It's giving me fits. And it should be loose enough that I can get it in there, but other good. Yeah, definitely don't tighten those down until you get all these bolts in. And once you get them in there, then you can go to town on it. All right. So time to crank this all down. Unless you're a giant spaz like me. sure you tighten them pretty even. If you see a gap, that's never good. And I'm not torquing them down real hard, just tightening them a little bit, make sure it's all even. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. A little bit too tight. Yeah, a little too far. So you start denting it like that, it's not great. I gotta make sure you don't overdo it. I like it to be tight, but I think once you start putting dents in the metal, it's not great. But, okay, that's definitely secure. Holy cow. Man, this is a robust system. Okay. Yeah, it's coming along. It's starting to look like a weight set. All right, let's get to the next step. All right, for the next step, we're going to need two of these big washers. They're number 107. 25 times 10 millimeter. These two are big ones. And then two more of these nuts. The M10s, aircraft nuts. And then we're going to use this axle thing. And what else do we need? Oh, that's it. Okay. Let's go ahead and put it together. That's definitely a tight fit, right? And this is not flexible at all. Why would they do that? Try weaseling it on there. Oh, there you go. You just gotta kind of weasel it. Just gotta keep weaseling. That's a bit of a tight fit right there. Here we go. I think that's a tight fit. This axle is not going to go in there real easy either. There we go. Wiggling. Wiggling and weaseling. You should have WD-40'd it, right? Let's hope I got that on right. Tightening these is going to take a crescent wrench on one side. tight we want this, because I suspect we're going to need to move this. Oh, that's centered either. Oops. I don't want to make it too tight, because I don't know if this is supposed to move or what. Well, it definitely is supposed to move. Okay, for the next step, we're going to need 2 of these guys here, which are M6 33mm hex bolts. Okay, we're going to need 2 of these 10mm washers, number 105. We're going to need 2 of these M6 aircraft nuts. Actually, the washers, yeah, they're the 105s. Okay, we're going to need the 2 big pads, not the small ones. These are the big ones. There's only 2 of them. We're going to need both of those. And then we need 2 of these little caps that look like this. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Oh, we also are going to need 2 of these bigger hex bolts, the M10s, 20mm ones. So we're going to need 2 of those as well. All right. So these arms here are labeled left and right for you. This one, as you can see, is with an L. So all right, now I know why they have these things. They hold on pieces that are supposed to stay on there, I guess, that could fall off. Well, these are kind of greasy. So this guy here, if I'm not mistaken, over here, as this rounded piece is going to go on that side. Okay, so yeah, that's not working out for me here. Why is there 2 of those? Oh, so, okay. That's why. Alright, so the left side, this is the left side here. And it's a little tricky with that. Let's put this in here. get that in there now. Hopefully it sticks. So this would be a good time to have a helper. Okay. So this here deal, it's a weird thing, right? It's gonna line up with it. Stick this in here. It's nice the nut in the back just fits in there, and so this piece here is holding it. I'm guessing we don't want to torque this too much, right? Because breaking this is probably a bad plan. Seems to work okay. I guess this guy, I mean, I could torque it a little bit more. I don't want to do too much on it though. Get worried about stuff breaking. We don't want to come loose either. Look how far out that is. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just holding that. It's basically a pin is all it is. So, and it works good. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait a minute, my God. That thing fell. That's what these little wires are doing, is holding these guys in place. These are kind of like bearings. I'm trying to wiggle it in there. Well, first let me get the stay. Damn, that's dangerous. Get the hardware here. Oh yeah, it tried to fall. That was gonna get me. I was waiting for it. Alright, so a little bit of a problem here. Okay, I got it. Okay, so we put the cap on here. See, and then It's pretty easy. I don't know how tight we're supposed to make that, but so chest flies are gonna go this way. Yeah, so we did this right. Yay. Well, that's in further than this one, huh? Yeah, that's far enough. It's like a, so it's just a, yeah, now we gotta put these guys on. That's not going on there easy. Probably, it's gonna go right here. It's probably about the height where that's gonna go. You just gotta use some freaking violence. Golly. Alright, so next is these handles. So the handles are going to go on the inside. That's pretty simple. There. Nice and simple. Getting tricked with these weird pads of doom. Okay. So alright, got the handles in. Surprised they don't have like flush washers for that. Oh well. Okay, so I didn't do that. I gotta turn that a little bit. Oh, I guess it doesn't have, I thought it was the other side. It went in all the way. I understand that. Let that one go in all the way. Alright, for this next step, we're going to need this this guy here, which is an M10 by 80 millimeter Allen bolt. I'm going to need two of these guys, little guys here, M8 16 millimeters Allen bolts. Okay, we're going to need two of these smaller washers, the 8 millimeter washers right here, and then two bigger washers that are 10 millimeter ones. We're going to need just one of these aircraft nuts, an M10. And we're going to need this guy here because we're attaching like the curl, you know, pad and support. So let's go ahead and do it. Okay, again, we're going to have to look real careful. So we're putting this leg support thing in, and this U part here that's welded on is going to face away from the unit, just so you know the direction to put it in. Again, these little wires are designed to keep these like bearing sort of deals from falling out. Might be better to just clip them than to unwind them, because you don't unwind. There we go. Okay, so we're just gonna put this guy right here and use one of the bigger 105 washers on this side of it. Let's put that in here, and then, oops, I'll slide it through to this side and just leave it hanging for the moment. And then we're going to put a washer on this side, and the nut that we got over here, and there we go. So we want to get our crescent wrench and our Allen wrench, tighten this guy up. So tightening it all the way is probably not a good idea. We probably should leave it some slack while we sort through what it's going to connect to. Okay, leave it a little bit of slack here while we figure out what we're going to do. Okay, so the next thing is this guy needs to get connected to this here, right? Sort of like this, it looks like. Put a washer on it, and hand tighten that in. I don't see any reason why we can't torque this down. Again, I wouldn't get crazy. Especially the backs of these, they don't usually thread it. It's sort of like those office chair ones. If you tighten it too much, it'll strip. And if you strip this, you're screwed. And to get another one. Pretty sure a good, nice, snug, tight. Ah, darn. Thing isn't fitting that right. Snug fit, probably good enough. I'm gonna take this guy and slide them in here, right? No. It's going to go this way. Yeah. Okay. And then we take this guy here and we secure it to whatever we're comfortable with, I guess. Put it right in the middle. And then there's a screw on the other side of it. Threaded nut that's welded on. That's to secure it into place. And that ain't going anywhere. Might be a little tighter. Alright, crowbar in place. Yeah, baby. It's starting to look like a little gym. Alright, let's do the next part. Alright, this next step's got quite a bit of hardware. Looks like a busy step. So we're going to use this big beast here or something, right? So this one's number 101 in the unit list. It's an M10 times 110 millimeter Allen bolt. So that's a big one. We're going to use a bunch of these little 8 millimeter washers. Let's see, 6 of them. We got 4 of these little M8 16 millimeter Allen bolts. We have the smaller. Actually, I gotta find. I don't know if I have the right Allen wrench I'm using. We got a couple of the longer Allen ones. The M8 40 millimeters. So, and then we have one of the aircraft nuts, which is an M10. And we got 2 of the bigger washers. And then specialty stuff. We got this guy here and this guy here. We'll see what we're going to be doing with those. So it's quite a bit of stuff here. Let's get started with putting it to use. Looks like we're going to be doing the backrest and the seat, which is cool. So the first thing we're going to do is mount the support on the backrest. So the seat's going to go obviously upright like this. This is going to be the bottom. So it's going to go like this on here. And these are obviously these guys here and the small guys. Seems like the right size, but it was getting stuck before. Yeah, it's cranking it too much. Yeah, be careful not to do that. Good. Okay. Okay, the next thing is going to be the seat, and we're going to attach it to its frame. don't really see any difference here. It looks the same on both sides, so I don't think there's a problem with direction or anything. So I'm gonna use these guys and these other 4 little fellers and take care of this. Just like doing an office chair, I wouldn't tighten them, torque them down hard, diagonally tighten them a little, snug them up, and make sure it's even. Okay, now I'll torque it a little bit. Now crank it. Cranking these ends up stripping them. You just don't want a stripped seat, man. Damn thing jiggling and just ruins the whole deal. Just tighten them pretty snug and move on. Yeah, I got it. A better fitting Allen wrench though. Still jiggles. Oh, no, still jiggles. That didn't matter. Let's see if that looks like better. Yeah, I think that's supposed to go that way. Here. The washer. Much easier with a helper. Okay. We put that big old bolt in the bottom, and then this pin here is, well, it does go on this side here. Alright, so the pin is on that side. And then we screw it in like that. And this dude here, that's going to be a big Allen wrench. And we're going to need this we're tightening that down. I do not see any reason not to torque it. Well, I mean, so I pull the pin out, right? And it's supposed to move. Yeah, there it goes. It's just a little tight. All right. For the next step, we're going to be using these. There's two of them that are the same size and one smaller. These pads, which I think we're going to be putting on here. These end caps. The foot thing for leg exercises and such. And then they say number 50, these other end caps. And the only thing I can find close are these two here. You know, there's no 50 in this stuff. So it was in the bags, and this is the closest I found. So we'll see if these are the right ones, because I don't have nothing else that's close, but we'll find out shortly. We're going to be taking this guy here and putting it through this hole here. Okay. And then we get to slide these on here. I don't know if we're going to have to use WD-40 again. Oh no, it goes on there pretty good. Okay. That's nice. Other one fell. Okay. The trick here is going to be getting that even. And then we're going to take these little guys here. I guess just stick them in there. And then that's nice and simple, right? Okay, so we'll take the other one and put it through here. I can fit it. Okay, and there it goes. I'm gonna do the same thing. Put these pads on. Here. Here. I want that to come out a little bit more. These caps on. Alright, so this is the smaller tube here, and we're about to see if this is going to be a problem. The carpet, I had to put another little piece of carpet there, and we take the tube here, get in the hole there, and now we gotta get it to come out the other side. A little bit of wiggling and jiggling here. That seems, there it goes. This part here. All right. All right, and now, so this is where these caps come into play. So they fit, they do fit. Not really sure what that's all about, but okay. I'm not sure. It seems like those caps fit. Tap them in here. All right, the next step, so step 12, I think it's complex enough to break it up into multiple steps because it's a lot of stuff. We're going to be doing all these pulleys and stuff. So I separated the pulleys. This is the pulley it looks like we're going to be using for this part here. So, and then we're going to get one of the pulleys. We're going to be installing that. And we're going to need some hardware. We're going to need one of these Allen wrench bolts, the M10 45 millimeter. And we're going to need two of these 105 washers, 10 millimeter washers. And we're going to need a nut, one of these aircraft nuts, the M10 nuts. So let's go ahead and install this, and then we'll move on to part B. This is part A of step 12. So the pulley's going to go here. So we want this to be sitting on top of the pulley, the way I see it. So it's going to go something like this. All right, washers. And so we put one washer on that side. And the washer on this side. Yeah. Alrighty. Be feeding this over here. I suspect for a pulley, it's going to be going over here next. But let's tighten that down. These 17 millimeter nuts, and then I use my Allen wrench here. Crank this down so much that it squishes it. As long as it rolls, but I imagine I could tighten it so much that it pushes this together, and you'll end up that you want these things to move. So, all right, let's go ahead and do part B. Okay, so again, the same hardware as the previous one. For this, another pulley. And we're just gonna basically repeat what we just did. So I suppose that's why they have it all in the same step, because it's the same stuff we're doing. That's weird though. I wonder where it's gonna go. I probably have over here somehow, but let's just do what they say. I don't know why I'm putting that in there. Alright, so this goes here, here, and wiggling in there, and yeah. Okay. I'll put this washer here. Okay. We're gonna do the same thing here. Tighten it. We're gonna tighten it, but not torque it so much that it just needs to be held in there. It doesn't need to be so tight that it doesn't spin. I mean, I don't even know if I made that too fine. That's fine, I'm sure. Okay. Now, let's go to the next step. All right, well, we got stuck. Now, if you guys recall, the hardware we got was steps 1 through 6. Steps 7 through 10, and then 2 step 14 by 16s. So we have nothing from 11 to 13, and I knew or suspected that could be a problem. So in this next step, we need a 160 millimeter bolt that is gonna hold the pulley going right here. Okay, so it's an M10 160 millimeter bolt. And I don't have it. I looked everywhere. So we're stuck. We can't put that in without that bolt. So I can either email them, and wait for them to get around to send it to me in 2 years or whatever it takes. Or I'm gonna check the hardware stores near me and see if they have it. But the problem is, and everybody has M10s, the problem is, 160 millimeters is a pretty long one, so it may be rare. And just so you can see, this one here was 110 millimeters, so the 160 is going to be like out to there, a little bit longer. So anyway, let's I'm going to see if I can find it at a local hardware store. Okay, so if you guys recall, part number 100 was missing, which stumped us, so we're back now. For this next step, we're going to need 2 of these washers. We're going to need one of the 103 M10 aircraft nuts, and we're going to need a pulley. And then we need the number 100, which is the 160 millimeter bolt that they didn't, I didn't have. Okay, so I got this from Amazon, and this is a 160 millimeter Allen wrench bolt with the correct threads. So let's hope it works. Right? Okay, let's put this guy on there and see how it goes. Gonna put the washer here, and then we slide this guy into this sleeve. We want this to be in here, but we definitely probably want to feed the pulley cable first, as I strongly suspect if we don't get this cable in there before we install it, it would cause problems. So let's put this through here. And we don't want it to be twisty cable. Alright. So this will go here, that will go there. And then it's okay, and I'm gonna put this video in before I finish doing this pulley, because you have to make sure this cable is under here and up in here before you put this pulley on, because you can't get it in after you fasten this. You want to kind of take it off and put it on again like I did. See this? Oh, I should have checked this. Yeah, well, if it's in there good. There's no play, no more than the other one. So, alright, so far, so good. On this side here, we want the washer to go on there and the nut. And this is the moment of truth. I mean, when I just tested the nut hand tightening it, it gets stuck when it gets to the lock part of it right here. So that's just probably because there's like a rubber locking thingy there. Let's just see if this works. Yeah, it's tightening. Should get the ratchet out here. This is going to take forever. Yeah, that's a perfect fit. Costs $8 buying it on Amazon. They give me 2 bolts as if I'm going to need a second one. But I couldn't find any with singles. And 160 millimeter bolts aren't real common. I was even surprised to find it. Alright, we're getting there to the end. There's play in there, but that would be there regardless of the bolts. It's definitely not the bolts. It's supposed to have play, I guess. Let's crank this down a bit. Alright, that's probably good enough. I hate over-tightening stuff. Okay, the next part's going to need another pulley. 2 of these 105 washers, which are the 10 millimeter washers. I got a lot of those. And then we're going to be fastening it with the number 94, which is M10, the 45 millimeter Allen bolts. Okay, like I said, this has to be fed through the pulley before you put the fastener on. That's my new fastener. You see it does not match the others. Okay, anyway, so this one, obviously you put that in like this. this side, and then I put it on this side here too. And then I'll put the nut in here, just like before. You can see I got the ratchet out. Much easier. Wait a minute. I'm going the wrong way. Alright. Am I going the wrong way? Hang on. No, I'm going the right way. Alright, there we go. Alright, for the next step, we're going to need one of the number 95s, which is an M10 50 millimeter Allen bolt. We only need one of these. And we're going to need one of these aircraft nuts, which is an M10 aircraft nut. And then we need two of these 10 millimeter washers. So we're also going to need these. This is the first time we've seen these. And actually, I meant to find another one. This one's kind of bent. I guess it doesn't matter. It's flexible. So these like connectors or something here. And then bushing. Need two of those. Need another one of our pulleys. And these brackets. Alright, let's go ahead and put them on. Alright, I went ahead and put all those parts together for what they call like the E assembly. So this is, it doesn't attach to anything yet. Once we put all those parts together, I just found this is going to go under here and up here to the next pulley. Okay, and these are the guides. So it just sort of hangs there for now, and I'm thinking it attaches to this. I don't know yet, quite yet. I think so, but for now. And these here are guides, which I believe these guys here go in there to, you know, guide to keep the cable straight. But that's going to be hard to squeeze it in there, but that's what I'm thinking it's for. But let's just do it together. First, I'm going to show you how I put the unit together to be ready to install. So it's basically the same on both sides here. So we'll just do one side. So I'll have to take the whole thing apart here. Okay, so it's the same thing on both sides. All right, so anyway, again, these two are the same sides. So we put the bracket on first, the guide on second. Remember, it's going to cover that pulley. The bushing then just kind of protects the guide. The washer, which pushes the bushing inside of that. And then the nut. Okay. So that's, we're going to crank it down. But, so, and that's the assembly for this. The problem here is, so this is going to go here. Like that for the next pulley, which is going to be going up here somewhere. Okay, and then hooking into the weights. But these guides here, and the instructions aren't clear about that, are gonna, you know, I'm guessing the pulley goes inside of here. So we've got to somehow get it in there. Now, obviously that's not gonna help. So this looks like you just have to use brute force to get this guy in here, because it doesn't go easy. I guess they don't want it slipping out, right? I mean, if you weasel it there. Alright, so it does go in, see? Okay, so then we wrap this around here. And now we got to do this side here, weaseling. Oh, it's not so bad. Okay. And that's it. See how it, that's kind of clever. Okay. So this dude here for now, I don't know what to do with this thing so it doesn't go anywhere. Oh, I don't want it to fall. Okay, there we go. See? It holds it in there for now while we tighten it in, right? I don't want it to go anywhere while we're doing that, because we got to crank this down. So, okay, we're gonna need our use the Allen wrench here, yeah, and use a ratchet. Doesn't say anything about how tight to make it. I don't know. I mean, I can always loosen it. Thank goodness that didn't fall on my head. All right. So there we go. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to be doing is putting a pulley in here. It's going to wrap around and then attach to this, and then we're going to be hooked up to weights. So let's go ahead and get the hardware ready for this part here. Okay, the next part, we're going to need the M10 65mm Allen bolt. We're going to need a pulley, and we're going to need two of these bushings, which are 22 by 15 pulley bushings. I've never used one of those before. And if you're wondering how come they would give me two of these, but they were missing the one that had that other stuff in it. Okay, that's all we're going to need for this one. Let's go ahead and install it. Okay, now we're going to install it. So, question is where? We're going to install it. So we're going to need to, be nice having a helper. So this is going to go like that. Oops. And then we're going to put the bushing on the other side. Here. I see the bushing slides into the hole there, I guess, to keep it nice and steady. Oh, I don't need a washer for this side. And there we go. Let's get our trusty Allen wrench. And our ratchet and torque this guy down. Oops. See, so the next step is actually attaching this to the selection rod, which is this guy here. So I guess we're just gonna do it. That ain't going anywhere. We're gonna be putting up the butterfly cable, and that's the one with these two ends that look like this. And we're gonna be putting it on these butterfly frames of some sort here. These, they have these little hooks in here, and it's as simple as just putting it on there, and then we go to the other side and do it on the other side. I'm pretty sure it's gonna run back here behind it. So when we're hooking these in, I'd make sure it's sitting back here. And all right, let's go ahead and do the next step. All right, for the next part, we're gonna need two of these guys here, which are the M10 65mm Allen bolts. Okay, we're gonna be attaching these brackets. They call them floating brackets. There's two of them that we're gonna be using. We're gonna need two of these M10 aircraft bolt or nuts. Okay, and we're going to need 4 of the 10mm washers, and that's it. So let's go ahead and put these on and see what happens. All right. So we're going to be going back to this bracket that we didn't know what the heck it was for. And we're going to be putting one of these floating guys here. Really pretty straightforward. Here. Here. And then and we're going to do it on this side too. I'm not planning on cranking this down because I have a feeling we're going to be putting a pulley in there. And although I suspect You know what? We can crank it down. See that? This is supposed to move even when you tighten it. Well, let's go ahead and put the other one in there. Okay. That's actually a tight fit here. Why would this one be a tighter fit than the other one? Doesn't matter. Still moves. That's what's important. Although I suspect we're not supposed to tighten it so it doesn't move. Let's go ahead and tighten it down some anyway. There's a pretty good gap there. Alright, so now it's so tight that it still moves. Let's leave it loose a little bit until we get to the next step. And then we can always torque everything down when we're done. I think it's gonna go here and here. All right, we're gonna be putting a pulley on now for the butterfly stuff. We're gonna need one of these 10mm or M10 aircraft nuts. We're gonna need a N10 times 40 or by 45mm Allen bolt, and 2 of these 10mm washers. Let's install that. Okay, so I'm going to put this guy in here, right? But we know this is going to have to be looped in here somehow. So let's go ahead and do that. That seems like that's about it. All right. So we're gonna put the washer on the bolt. This guy in here. Wiggle a little bit until we find the hole. And I got it on the other side. And then put the washer over here. And the nut. If I can get it on there. Okay, now this thing still moves, which is fine. Oh, we'll tighten that up later if necessary, but I think it needed to move. I definitely needed to move it while hooking this up. Okay, let's tighten this one. We can tighten now. Now I gotta be careful. See, they give us this little teeny weeny wrenches. They probably don't think, you know, we have this bad boy for cranking it. So you can over tighten it and you gotta be careful. That's good. Okay. So let's go to the next step. Now you would think it was putting the pulley over here on this side, but it's not. We're going to have a pulley down here somewhere, probably here, that we're going to be doing now. So let's go ahead and get the hardware for this pulley. Okay, for the next step, we're going to need this bracket here. There's only one of them. We're going to need the pulley, which we're going to be putting in the bracket. We're going to need a couple more of these guides that we used earlier. So it looks like we're going to have a floating pulley here. 2 of the bushings that fit in there. We are going to need a M10 by 50 Allen bolt. That would be one of these guys. Right? Okay. And we need a M10 nut and a couple of these 10mm washers. Okay. Alright, so just like we did this one here that's still floating around, we're going to be doing one here that's just going to be floating around. We're not actually mounting this yet. I'm sure it's coming. I mean, I got a sneaking suspicion. We definitely want to get this cable on the inside here, because if we put the pulley on and not the cable, you know, it's going to be a problem. So, almost guaranteed we're going to be doing it like that. And then I need to put a washer on here, and then the bushing after the washer, because the bushing actually slides into that hole. Or well, actually, okay, of course, I forgot these guys. Okay. Okay, so if you recall, this thing here has to go over that, so we are going to be doing this here, and then we want the bushing to slide into that guy there. So much easier with a helper. Okay. I can do it. I can do it. You just gotta be patient and clown with it. Alright. So I got it through there. Let's see, I gotta get it on this other side now. Okay. And I think, yeah, so this has to be on that side there. Okay. And now, this one here, yeah, it goes on that side there. But this bushing's gonna go in, so see how it fits in there? It's very good, very clever. Okay, and, it's just like that other floating one. I don't think we did torque that down. Okay, so I'm not really sure how this is gonna go, but I have a feeling putting these cables in is much easier than if we ever have to pop them out. Oof. I have a feeling popping these cables out is gonna not be a party. So let's hope we're doing this right, and we don't have to pop them out. There it is. Okay, let's tighten it down. spins. Okay. All right, let's see. If I'm a betting man, we're gonna be doing that one next. Okay. Yeah, so they didn't even have the other butterfly pulley installation on the instructions. But there's the picture has it installed, so obviously I have to install it. So we're going to need a pulley. I'm just going to repeat the process of the first butterfly pulley. We're going to need the M10 aircraft nut. We need a M10 by 45 millimeter Allen bolt. 2 of these 10 millimeter washers. And that's it. Let's go ahead and install. Okay. So, yeah, instructions don't have this part on there, but it has to be done, right? So let's do it. Just the same as the other side. Okay. Okay, so the next step, we're going to need a pulley, and we're going to need the last cable, which is the leg cable. It's the one that has this on one end and this on the other end. We're going to need, number 102, which our bolt, which is the M10 60 millimeter bolt. Okay, and the another one of these M10 aircraft nuts, and we're going to need 2 of these bushings that are like this. They're 22 by 13 millimeter pulley bushings. So that's it right there. Let's go ahead and install these to the unit. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be feeding it through this guy here, you know, the leg developer, and we want this guy to hang out aside of this. So that means we feed the little end of this through here, and then it's going to go through the one behind it. Just like that. So I put it through here and here. So there we go. All right, now so the pulley is going to go right in there, and we want the the cable to go on the pulley, but these guys here, these bushings, are going to have to go in there. Okay, so oops, oh, no washers. I guess the bushings work for the washer. So you put the bushing in there, and then on the other side, put the bushing in there. It's actually goes in nice. Okay. Now we're going to crank it down. And again, these are plastic bushings, so I don't think I would make this too tight. Yeah, that's tight enough. Okay. Now you can see. I got a feeling we're going to be putting a pulley here next. Okay, yep, I was right. That's going to be another pulley for the next part. But we're getting a different bolt. It's a M10 65 millimeter bolt. Here. We're going to another one of these aircraft, these M10 aircraft nuts. And instead of the number 42, it's number 41 bushings. They're different. These are 42 and 41. They look the same, but they're different. Yeah, because these are 15 millimeter, and the one we just put in was 13. So this is different. So make sure you use the right one, the 15 millimeter one. So a little bit bigger. And that's it. Let's go ahead and install this. Okay. Okay, put the pulley in here, just like that, and put the bushing in. Last bushing on this side here. Make sure this part here goes inside of the hole. I can't see it, but I can feel it. And then the nut I'm putting on the other side here, just like we did on the other one. Okay. Crank it down. And again, I wouldn't go too tight on that. Okay, so now we got that done. Okay, so following the cable here, I suspect we're going to be coming through this hole here with it. Just feed that through now. Oh yeah, I see now where it's all coming together here. Getting close. Gonna finish these pulleys here and we'll be done. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with the next step. Okay, the next part is, yes, another pulley. We're gonna need another aircraft bolt, M10. we're going to need the number 94, which is an M10 by 45 millimeter. One for this part. And we're going to need two of these 105, part 105, so 10 millimeter washers. Okay, let's attach this pulley. Okay, this guy is going to go here. So again, running along the length of the bottom here. So it just goes all the way through. If you wiggle it enough, put our washer on the other side. Okay, let's tighten this guy down. Okay, I suspect we're going to be doing this one next. Let's take a look and see. Okay, for the next part, again, we are going to do another pulley, but it's not the one I thought. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to need two of these guys. Remember them? They're like the little guides that we're using. And then these little bushings, which go in the middle here, if you remember. Need two of those, two of these, and then we're going to be securing it with one of these 10 millimeter by or 10 by 50 millimeter bolts, Allen bolts, and we're going to need, of course, one of the aircraft nuts, which is M10, and a couple of these 10 millimeter washers. Okay, let's install it. Okay, so I thought it was going to come through here, but I'm wrong. It's going on this, and the pulley is going to go up here, like that. So we got to install that here with these guides. Okay, so if we remember correctly, remember this is going to cover that. Alright, so we're going to go in here like this. And then that's here. This goes here. And then we put the washer like this. Yay. So it's going to go just like that. And you see we got the guide there on the outside. Okay. So now doing the other side. Again, the guide is going to go here. You know what I forgot? Put the pulley on the top of it. Well, at least I didn't tighten it, right? Okay. So let's put the pulley up there. Okay. I knew I forgot something. And I still have all the stuff in there. Let me just weasel that in there. Okay. Now we gotta do the other side. I definitely, I suspect that's gotta be on this side. So this is going to go on first. The bushing is on next because the bushing goes in the hole there. The washer and the nut. Okay, so let's see here. How are we going to do this? So this guy here is a guide. When I get this guide in there. Okay, and then this side here, squirm that guide in there. Okay. Let's see how those guides can go any other way, so. Let's tighten it down. I don't think I ever cranked these down here. Oh yeah, it is tight. Let's go ahead and tighten that down. I guess it still moves even when it's tight. That's the whole point of them, I suppose. Oh, lets it move. Okay, so now this is going to go down here, I'm sure, right? All right, so the next part or step, oops, we're, found some more missing hardware. So number 94 is the bolt we need. That's this M10, the 45 millimeter, and we're completely out of those bolts, of course. So we don't have enough. So I ordered some, but these, I don't know how it's going to work. We'll see. You see the distance on these here? Let's see here. It's pretty close. I don't know. Guess we'll see. According to the picture, this is actually a little bit longer. But anyway, we're going to need a lot more of these aircraft nuts, these 10 millimeter ones. So I ordered some of those. And I hope I don't need more of these washers. And I'm going to order those because they just didn't give me enough of the hardware. Anyway, let's go ahead and put this one on. Alright, so it's going to go here, and we're going to definitely want this to be under here. It's going to go up there when it's all said and done. So let's put our washer on here. We're going to see how our new bolts do that we bought. Fits. And put a washer on this side. over here. And so it's a different size nut. That's all right. Okay. Seems to work. All right, so that's good. All right, let's go to the next step, which I suspect is going to be here somehow. Well, let's see. Okay, the next step, we actually have all the parts, which is good. I'm going to be using a number 95 bolt, which is the M10 by 50 millimeter. Two of these 10 millimeter washers. We're going to need one of the aircraft nuts. We're down to one left, but like I said, I bought some extras. We're going to need a pulley, and two of these guys that, you know, the guides. The pulley guides, and two of the bushings that go in here. And these are the last two of these that we have. So, all right, let's go ahead and install this. Okay. Yeah, so I was right. It is going to go here. Weird how it's adjustable. So we're going to need to do this whole deal again. Remember, these go like that. So this is going to loop around. It's going to be like this. And so this one here is going to probably go, yeah, like that. And then this one here will go over here, like that. Okay. So, as always, we put the washer on. I'm going to put this guy in here. Okay. Put that in there. Oh, I imagine this has to go on the inside of that, right? Alright, we'll do this. Okay, one step at a time. Okay. Alright, now we're going to have to do a little wiggle in here. Okay. There. And get the other side. And then need these things here on this side. This one's going to be over here. Let's just see here. Did I do that the right way? No. This needs to be over here as a guide on this side. Over here, and then this one's going to need to be on this side. So let's put this in first. Wait a minute. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. This here is gonna go in that. And then put our nut on there. Okay, so now we want to slide this guy on here. Okay, and okay, I don't know what I did with the Allen wrench I was using, but that's just fine. Guess we can try and make sure these are all tight. It doesn't matter. That's tight. Alright, so the next step's another pulley. We're going to use one of our new number 94 bolts, M10 by 45. That's what I bought. Our last M10 aircraft nut that they supplied, and then 2 of these washers. But I'm ready because I got a feeling I need those. Let's go ahead and install this. Okay, so it's gonna, we just put this one on, so it's gonna come through here like this. Also, let's put the washer in and get it ready. So this is gonna go here. This guy's gonna come in here like that. I guess we don't have to put it in first because it's hard to just go. Did I put the washer on? Yeah, I got the washer in there. I mean, don't really need a washer for this. See how the big flange on the one I bought is? That's all right. Actually, I wonder if I shouldn't use the washer. Save these washers because I don't need it. This here has like a self washer. See? I'm just gonna save the washer in case I don't know if I'm gonna need them down the road. And I didn't buy extra ones, but see, this one has a big flange on it. See, so you don't need a washer. On the other side, I definitely will, because this doesn't have that big flange on it. Hey, you do need to put it in. See how it kind of gets stuck there. So it's pretty tight. All right. So the next one is going to come through here. For the next step, we're going to run short on hardware again. And for shame to these guys for not sending enough hardware. That sucks. So this occasion, we're supposed to use a 65 millimeter Allen bolt, okay, for this one, which is the let's see here, where's the 65? Here it is, number 93. Okay, in 2 in this pack and 2 in this pack, and I've used them. So I've used 4 of them, but it turns out we're going to need 5 of these. So I could order another one and wait a couple of days, but that sucks. So it turns out I had an extra 60 millimeter one because, you know, they just sent me the wrong packs is what they did. So I have some extra stuff. Like I imagine I have a whole bunch of extra number 92s. I'm going to have an extra 87. It doesn't do me much good though. Although, to be honest with you, I mean, I needed, for this step, we need 2 of these bushings here. And I guess it probably came in the other bag. Nonetheless, so it's supposed to be a 65 millimeter bolt, and I'm going to use a 60 because I had an extra. And it'll work. I mean, 5 millimeters isn't going to kill it, I think. So we'll see. Anyway, like I said, we need 2 of these pulley bushings and an aircraft nut, which we didn't have any of these left, so I had to break into the ones that I purchased. So let's go ahead and see if this thing explodes. Let's put it in. Alright, so the last one's going to go here. This guy here is going to go on the top of it. So I don't think we need to worry about this now, the cable. I think we'll be able to put that in. I've been wrong before. So we can put our bushing, we can put both our bushings in now. We don't need washers for this, just these bushings. And they are plastics, so we gotta be careful about cranking it down, and that sucks considering it's a 60 millimeter instead of a 65 millimeter bolt. So Yo-Yo should send me all the bolts and I wouldn't have to sit there and rig it. Oh dear, I dropped the bushing. Let's get it. Okay, so bushing goes back in there. And you can see it sticking out reasonably good, the 60 millimeter, and it's supposed to come out a little further. The question is, will it catch on the locking mechanism thing for the aircraft nut? So what we got to do is tighten it and see, right? I hope this works because I don't really feel like waiting. I really want to use this guy. I put the wrong... Okay, I gotta go. I can only handle so much. See how that's barely in there? That's the product of the... I think it's locked in there though, pretty dang good. I could probably tighten it a little bit more. Gotta watch these bushings though. That's almost flush there. So the 65 would probably, you know, it comes out a little bit. See how it comes out slightly. It's definitely locked in there. Alright, so this next part is this double strap buckle here, which honestly it took me a minute to figure out what this was all about, but it goes, apparently goes here. You know, after this last step, we're gonna use it to secure this here, right? So it goes in here like that, and as far as I can tell, that's the deal. So then now we can hook a clip up to this and you know, do exercises from here. Oh, this is a problem. So that's going to have to be an adjustment here to make that come all the way down. Alright, so you can see there's like a little bit of slack now in it because I moved this guy down here. But while I was doing that, I also learned that these guides, when you tighten these, it holds them in place, like they don't move. So but you can move them a little bit, like with some force. So you got to adjust them, you know, hold the pulley and adjust them to where you want the guide to be. And that's why these were bent, is they were just out of position. That's still a little bit weird, but it's better. Got this one pretty good here. And those guys down there are good. So we'll see how it performs. All right, so for the next step, we're gonna need 8 of these guys here. These M10 at 20 millimeter bolts, 8 of them. We're gonna need 8 of these washers, and we're gonna need 2 of these brackets. We're gonna be putting the cover on the weight thing. So it's pretty good. I mean, what did I use? Only 1 of these, I think. 2, maybe 1 or 2, and then I had to use one of these 60 millimeter instead of 65 millimeter, and I don't know, I maybe use 1 or 2 of these, so I didn't need that many, which is good. What am I going to do with these guys now? Anybody need those? Huh? If you do, let me know when you order this, and I'll mail it to you. Well, since it's going to waste, right? Alright, well, let's put this on. So this guy here is going to go over here. Not like that, though. Okay. The bracket bolt's going to have to go on that side. I know it's hard for you guys to see, that light is kind of in my face. Okay. And this here. I'm not going to tighten these for obvious reasons, that we got to put the brackets on them. The brackets here that kind of holds it on securely, and I want it to be able to move a little bit before we do that. So let's put this guy on here. Now, the only concern here is this is certainly gonna suck. So the brackets are just gonna hold these together. That's fine. Okay, so the brackets, go like this. You can see they're threaded also. So and let's get this side in there. That one's a little bit of a snug fit. That's fine. Let's put the bottom. I did not bring enough nuts. Oops. Okay. It's just going to go in there like this. I don't know if you can see it in the dark. Okay, very muchly would help having a helper here. One. Okay. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. So, let's see here. Everything looks good. Oh, I don't think this really has to be torqued down. Tightened down good enough, snug, so it doesn't vibrate. Okay. Well, heck, I do believe that we're done. This here, what is this? Protected. Because we don't want that to look like poop. Am I right? Yeah, buddy. Okay. So next step is to give it a shot and see how it does.